Welcome everybody to the Blue House Bull Session. It is that time of week again. We missed you. I hope you've missed us. Actually, I hope you haven't missed us. I hope you've been here with us. Today we are joined by a very special guest. He just made Twitch partner. He's making waves in the charity streaming scene. He's an amazing human being, one of the funniest and most talented guys I've had the pleasure to work with besides myself, and that's high praise. We have Jyggy with us today. What you doing, man?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Jay. Hi, Uber. How are you?
Man, I am happy today. It is a good day. I'm happy to be here doing this. I'm psyched.
I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be on the Blue House Bull Session. You know,
It's a good place to be. I don't know about the best place to be, but it's a good place to be for sure. What's going to happen with G? I'm just going to dive right into it. Spoil everything for us. What's coming up?
what you wait? You want to just dive right into content? You just want to go right into Is that the plan?
I know it's unfamiliar, but I got to let you go at some point. You got a real stream to do.
Nah, that's later. That's later. Well, I guess with Big Broadcast for Good, which is if you don't know, it's a charity show that I started about 4 years ago now. I think this will be the fourth one. We started it in during COVID, as just another charity show that we that we started, and it was just basically a whole group of us doing the show, remotely. It's how can we do it together but also remote, and that was kind of the way it started. And this year would be interesting. Usually it's done in May. I'd like it to be done in May this year, but looking at my actual calendar for May this year, it's looking tight. There's currently 2 other charity events that are in May that I'm producing, so it's we might push it to June, but I don't really know. But I'm excited to do it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Big Progress for Good is always a good time for St. Jude. But yeah,
that's one of the reasons I wanted to open with that. It gives me a good way to backpedal a little bit and say, all right, you are so involved with charity. How did you get into that? How did you get started with this?
I actually got started. I got started and involved with it just kind of the same way that most people do. Most people get involved with same with how you did, probably, Jay. How you got involved with Zeldathon is I started watching the show. I watched Zeldathon on there's a little bit of a story here, but I don't want to go full ADHD, but we started off basically doing I was playing The Legend of Zelda, the original Legend of Zelda, for the first time, and I was playing it on the GameCube, actually, on the Zelda Collector's Edition, because I did not own an NES. I didn't own that. My first Zelda game ever was Wind Waker on the GameCube, because that was just the one I had. I was a Pokemon on the Game Boy kid, Pokemon and Mario Advance. So my first Zelda game that I ever played was Wind Waker. But I ended up getting that collector's edition, that Zelda's collector's edition, all the way back then as the pre-order bonus or whatever. They gave it away when you had the GameCube or whatever. And so it had Zelda 1 on it. I was like, all right, I guess I got to play Zelda 1. Zelda 1 is very hard. It's not the game you should start with if you're going to be playing a Zelda game for the first time. So I ended up watching I didn't know where to go. I was young at the time. I was I don't know how old I was. I was not super young. I think it was 14. Yeah, I think I was 14, something like that. And I was trying to figure out where to go, and I went on a website called Zelda Dungeon. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's basically a wiki that gives you walkthroughs with pictures, because I can't read. and that is how I got through my first time playing The Legend of Zelda. So as I was playing through the game, I went on Zelda Dungeon, and all of a sudden on there it said Zeldathon in big caps, and it was an ad for Zeldathon, the second Zeldathon, American Cancer Society, unless that's the third. It's either the second or the third Zeldathon. I think it's the third. And it was their third time doing the show. I didn't know anything about it. I just saw the word Zeldathon, and it was a live show, and I was instantly glued. I'm talking. It was on. I had a, I had a small Asus netbook at the time. Like no GPU. It was like a little blue netbook, that I used just for typing, and I was glued to. I was glued to Zeldathon for the entire week. It was on while I slept. It was on. It was just on. The laptop was on with Zeldathon that entire time, and that was how I got into it. And then flash forward a couple years, I got invited to the event. I got banned from the event, and then I went anyway, and then I just never left. And that kind of opened me up to a lot of a lot of opportunities that I've been able to work with a lot of my friends, and then also really jump into the scene of being able to give back, but then produce a good show. Sorry, that was a long-winded answer.
No, not at all. I mean, that's what I want to hear. And like the fact that we've been able to see over time, you've had your role as couch, you've had your role as the runner, you've had your role as producer. You put together the whole Zelda Clue segment. I mean, you really do jump into everything with that. And I see a lot of that in all the other events you're involved with too. Did it just kind of branch out with the people you met from there? Is that how you got started with Coliseum and everything? Uh oh. Do I have you muted? Do you have you muted?
Now am I unmuted?
Perfect.
Okay. All right. All right. So Coliseum was kind of again, like I was able to, I was able to basically start the like at Zolathon, and I stuck around, and I was there, and I started producing segments for them, and like that it started with, late night with Jyggy, and then it was the Jig Academy Awards and all these
Love
bits
those.
that, actually for many years the joke was that I wanted to produce segments that had nothing to do with the Legend of Zelda. That was the joke. Which nowadays it's the total opposite, where I'm just like, we need to do every segment that is connected to the Legend of Zelda. But back then, I don't know, I was trying to be like the rebel or whatever. And I got a call from my good pal Super MC Gamer, and he started his job working at Direct Relief, and him and Campy created the Coliseum events. They did the TRG one, and then they did Mario Maker Coliseum. And instantly when I saw them making those shows, I let them know. I was like, I want to help. Like, let me help. I want to be involved, whatever. And like anything you need me to do, I'm there. And so it was, my first Coliseum was TRG Coliseum 2020, I'm sorry, 2018, I want to say. It was 2018. It was the second one. I could be wrong on that. People could fact check me. But I got involved in that just because the MC said, hey, I need help. These are a lot of good people. Come in and help me run cables and run the show. And that's what I did. I got involved in that sense. But I didn't start like producing and helping with the production of like full on of that event until, like, I don't know, I guess even fairly recently. Like technically I think this time is the first time that I'm considered a producer, and I still haven't actually been able to really do much with them. I've always just been the an associate producer with them, working on whatever the segment needed, and then whatever MC needs help with. So, but that's kind of how I got involved there. You know,
Speaking of that involvement, are you allowed to talk about what you're thinking for throne controllers?
for TCC.
Yeah.
I can talk about my stuff. I can't talk
Yeah.
about their stuff because I don't know their stuff. That's the real thing. TCC Throne Controllers Coliseum is this coming May. It's May, I think 3rd. I think if I'm correct, it is May 3rd, 4th. Yeah, May. It is May 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It'll be up twitch.tv/ProtonJohn. It's a brand new event, but it's also like the same event as last year's and as the year before. I'm super excited about it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I have some big surprises that I want to do. I love that community so much. Like the TCC community is just like John's community and all that is just, it's so amazing. It's so cool to be a part of it. And so for me, it's like I get that same level of like, I guess for lack of a better term, like fandom and like fanboy
Yeah.
that I got, like that I used to get with Zeldathon. Now I really get it with Throne Controllers Coliseum. Just because it's like these are my friends, yes, and I'm lucky that they're my friends, but they, all in all, I literally have watched them for years. You know, I look up to John very much as a producer and as a content creator. But like it's just a neat situation that I'm really lucky to be a part of, that I got to, that, you know, MC invited me and Campy has invited me to work on, like on the other Coliseum events. I'm very, very lucky that I'm able to be involved with those, and then like I get to be a part of that and even, you know, make a little bit of content myself. So like with TCC, you know, hopefully I'm behind on it, but I will have like a bumper, a bit bumper, and I'll be there to hopefully produce a segment or two of that's like mine, you know.
This has
So
been really your focus recently too. I mean, I'm not trying to air dirty laundry or anything, but I know it's come up a little bit that this is currently your full time job is as a content creator. But recently, we are celebrating that you have finally attained Twitch partnership. They finally opened their eyes and saw the quality content that you've been putting out for so long. My question about that is, what are you going to do now with it? Now that you don't have to stress about attaining partnership, where are you taking it? What weird new directions are we going?
I think I actually did one the other night, which is weird, really weird. It's funny you say like, oh, finally achieved partnership. Oh my god, we finally did it. It's been 10 years. It's been whatever, however long. But like the way I've looked at it is like now I am no longer, for lack of a better term, in jail.
Yeah.
Um, I was never in jail with my content. I absolutely love Pokemon. I absolutely love Zelda. And what I did, and the reason why I stuck with those two things for so long, these past, like I would say 3 4 months, 5 months, is because that was what was working. That is what people loved
I
about the
can't
show, and
believe you
that's what
people come
brought
here
people
voluntarily.
back. That brought people kept coming back for that content. If I played anything else, I risked that.
Yeah.
And I have always said, "Oh no, I'm a variety streamer." You know, I'm a variety streamer. I'm here to I'm here to play whatever I want, do whatever I want, and make my show. That's the big thing about Twitch, and that's what people don't understand. Um, is that it's your show. It's your show. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm adding my Discord to let them know that we're here. But basically, it's your show. You can do whatever you want on your Twitch channel, and you shouldn't let anybody tell you what you can and cannot do. And what's funny about that, and this is the sad thing. This is the thing is, over the course of those 10 years, over the course of those 10 years, I've had so many people tell me that I should give up, that I'm not good enough, that I'm never going to be Ninja, or I'm never going to be Proton John. Um, and what I would always tell them is that I don't want to be Proton John. I don't want to be Ninja. I want to be the guy who helps make those shows even better. But then I have my own show too, and my own show is mine. And my show, I can do whatever I want on. And so, like, we basically were locked into that Zelda and that Pokemon for the last like 5 months, because that was my way of getting past this barrier. And I know I am a Twitch partner. I hit that there's a check mark next to my name. It happened. But I still think that the system is entirely flawed, really, really, really bad when it comes to recognizing creators that do exactly what they want to do.
Let me just at Dank Clanky over here.
Yeah. Well, and Dan knows that. Dan knows that it's rough, because Dan actually, it took him a while to get partner too. Maybe not 10 years, but the problem is, and this is talking about the partnership system. I know this is not your question. I'm just rambling about it. Talking about partnership in general, the actual system is weird, because they have guidelines, and we finally hit those guidelines. We finally hit that. And I'm not saying that I sacrificed my content to achieve this goal, but there's definitely limits that I had to set. It was one of those things where I don't look at how many people are watching me at all on the show, ever. I just don't do it. I look at it after, oh, did that do well? Great. I'm glad that does well. But like, I don't look at that while I'm live, because yeah, especially if you see the number go up and down. I used to do it, and if anybody watched me in the early years, they know that it was exhausting. It was an exhausting, like, it was almost part of my personality that I was worried about view numbers. And I'm so glad it took me a long time to get past that. But when I was pushing, because we never did. I never said we're partner pushing. I never said it because I knew it was a jinx. But like, while we were pushing these last couple months, there were times where I would end a show if we went like, if I looked at the chat and the chat wasn't flowing. I would end a show at 12 o'clock on the dot, because I was like, okay, we had 3 raids today. We definitely were over the 80. We're going to end it. And it's something that I don't want. I wish I didn't have to do, and now I don't have to, because the way I look at it is like, I should be able to produce a good show, whether I have 2 viewers or 200 viewers or 2,000 viewers. And if my show, if I want to keep going, and if we're having a good night, I want to be able to keep going and not worry about the numbers,
Yeah, and that's something I've said to a lot of the people that are fans here, a lot of the people I know in real life, is if you want to stream something, there's an audience out there. I can't promise how big it's going to be, but there's someone that wants to see what you're doing. If you focus on the numbers, it'll drive you away from what you're doing. And that is really one of the things that's kind of hurting Twitch right now, in a way.
It's hurting Twitch, but it's also not. Like, I know I've been saying, oh, it's a challenging thing. Twitch's major quote unquote like problem, and it's not a problem. It's not, but it is discoverability. Because you just said it, Jay. You just said there's somebody for everybody, and there is. There's always an audience for something out there. We don't know if it's big. We don't know if it's small. But like, the real thing is, there has to be a way for people to find it. And people cannot find people on Twitch. The only current real good way of discoverability on Twitch currently is raids. Raids are the only real way, other than this, other than the actual like the stream together, how it's like they get an alert saying that I'm on the show, which is really cool, by the way. But like, there is no real, it's all collaborative. That is the only way. Because when you go to a discovery, when you go to like the actual like brand, and they're working on it, but like when you go to the actual like search for something, you're so overwhelmed. The average person's so overwhelmed by everything that unless you're in like a very small directory, which is very nice for like me, who's a Zelda streamer, and most of those directories are empty, But now that actually hurts me because now people are not looking up the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess on GameCube. You know, that's just not a thing. But I I look at it like the discoverability is a problem. They're working on it maybe, but like when it comes to like partnership, I also can't blame Twitch because like there has to be I understand like there has to be a number, and that number has to be a profitable thing for them, and Twitch is already not profitable, so it's challenging. I don't know what you think, Uber, but you know.
Oh, he's lost me.
I've seen I've seen a lot more of the numbers, and yeah, there's costs to stream the bandwidth and stuff, and it that's why they don't present ads to certain people. It's like it costs them more to send the data out to no one than they're making back in the ads for the few people. And it's a calculus of like how many people eyeballs and ads and things. And it's like, yeah, it's
It's a tough balance to strike. It definitely is.
yeah. And there was I went through the same thing when trying to get affiliate as I got right up to that point and it's like, okay, to get the number over that hurdle, I had to do some number gaming. I had to like stream for not 8 hours every, 8-12 hours of like me just screwing around with programming. I had to keep it shorter, less days when I knew I could get all the people there. And then as soon as I got up to, 8-10 people, rode that for a little while and cut the stream off because it was about gaming your average and to get it over that hurdle, not doing what I wanted to do. That's why I cut back on the development streams. I just played more mainline games that I get people to actually watch for 4 hours, 2, 3, 4 hours, and not 12 hours.
It's even tougher with the partnership because with affiliate there are hard cutoffs. They say you hit these metrics, you have achieved affiliate. They just hand it to you like that. With partner,
I
they
woke
have their
up
guidelines
overnight.
and then the application.
It used to be you had to apply even to the affiliate level. The way you had to apply to partner. I woke up overnight one day and I had an email saying, go here and fill out your W-2 information. And I'm like, what? And then I'm sitting there staring at this confused. And an hour later, I got, hey, you met the thing, got blah, blah, blah. Here's welcome to fill it. I got all the information later because it was all automatic. And so, and yeah, Clancy has mentioned on a number of the Twitch patch notes podcast or whatever that thing is they do.
Yeah.
Like he said, yeah, it's kind of a mess, but
State of the Onion thing. When are you going to have Clancy on your show? Your partner now. You can pull it.
Whenever I meet him, I met him last year at TwitchCon, but I didn't actually like get to talk with him. I had this dumb joke that I was gonna tell him about, that I was gonna be the first affiliate to get Partner Plus because that was before they had Partner Plus.
Yeah.
Which it's funny because we're not close to that at all, but like that was the joke I was gonna tell him, but he ended up going up. Like I met him for like 30 seconds and then he walked away. But I don't know. The thing about Dan Clancy is that right now Twitch is in a wacky world where they are trying to become, at least like they need to make $1. That's all they have to do. They need $1 in profit for everybody to leave them alone, and they can't do that. It's really hard for them to do that. So I don't know. It's a rough world.
I gotta say though, he's a pretty good choice for that in my opinion. Twitch, the community has all sorts of people that are the face of Twitch. There's everyone that all the names, Proton John, or Ninja, or any of them. But the face of Twitch as a business, Clancy is a solid choice for that. He's a charismatic dude. He understands what the business does and what streaming means, by the fact that he's doing that. So I hold out hope. I hold out hope.
Yeah, me too. I have this dumb I have this weird, like, my pessimistic brain is like,
can't
oh,
believe
I got
people got
partnership
involved
now.
here.
Twitch will shut down in like a week. They're like, he can have it for the remainder of our existence, 1 week. But yeah,
What what would your dream, just to completely just switch gears altogether, no warning.
sure.
What would your dream charity event?
Dream charity event.
Yeah, if you were in charge of making all the decisions, setting up your own, you had resources from the outside, so you weren't struggling to come up with it all on your own. What would be your event? What would you theme it around? What would you want to have for it, do for it? Who would you want there?
Funny enough, I kind of already have it, and that's I love the event with all my heart. It's called Pokethon. It's a charity show that is Pokemon, and I'm lucky enough that I get to produce it with my with Campy and with MC, and it's a long running show that has moved around, and I'm really excited for the next one. The next one I'm taking like the full reins on. So it's my show, and I get to invite my my Pokemon creators, and if I could have anybody, I would definitely want to to get people involved that like really truly love Pokemon and that can really drive that show even forward. That's the Pokethon has always had growing pains, and it's such a weird world where it's it has such good meat. It's like it's got the meat. It's got the show. It's got the Pokemon. The IP, and all it needs is just a little bit more money, so I can bring out talent that I really want to, and we can really we need to find a day, and it exists basically. Like my ultimate charity show exists. I just need to make it happen, and that's the hard thing about Pokethon is just like making sure that we can make it happen, because like I love that show, and the sky is the limit on that show. There's no limit. It's just how do we get there, and I'm finding time and finding people that are passionate about it like me. That's the goal. So
Well, I know two guys, just saying, that would probably love.
you guys are so busy. All right, I'll be the first.
Uh-oh.
You guys are so busy that it's just that is how I no more work for Uber and Jay right now. That's the thing. I appreciate your enthusiasm and wanting to be involved, but you gotta pick. You gotta pick one or two. Like that's the thing. Like there's a lot of projects and everything that you guys have going on, and I can't wait to see them. But you gotta pick.
Yeah. Actually,
Stop saying yes to things, Jay. I know Uber doesn't say yes to things, right?
I say yes to things on his behalf. That's the problem.
Uber, you gotta get him. You gotta get him to say no, maybe later. That's no, maybe later.
It doesn't help.
He's tried. He's spent decades working on it. It just doesn't work. We do have to catch up with you about something unrelated later. We'll DM you.
I think that there's like 2 or 3 projects that I think you guys are working on just like for me, which is crazy.
It's fun though, I like bringing new stuff to the streams like that. Being able to produce something that's not everywhere, something that's signature to you, something that connects with your community.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I want you guys to get involved with. Making these plugins for other creators, and basically creator enablement. Enabling people to do cool things with their broadcast is what you both are really good at. So it's just a matter of how do you get into that space, and then also like how because I know, Jay, you would say, well, we don't need any money for it, but in my mind I'm just like, if you're making a service, if you're providing a service, you should at least refund yourself for your time. That's the way I look at it.
Oh, well, I
So
do want to clarify. When I say we don't need money, I'll say we don't need money from you. Everybody else, yeah, we'll take it. Just drive the truck up to the
cool,
house, dump it out.
great. I'll take that. But like,
The
yeah,
equivalent,
that's
voluntarily.
thank you for the follow. The equivalent is that this is our payment for you testing our stuff. That way we know it's worth
Sure.
the money to everybody else.
yeah. It's like building. It's like building something for creators and building something for charity shows. I mean, like there's a dramatic need for it. You know, like I was talking about one thing. This is something that's very interesting. I was going home for Easter. I was going to my parents' house. And I have a rig there. I have a setup there, and I just recently redid my entire Twitch overlay. I redid my entire Twitch overlay. I did it based on I did it based on like the a new layout that's a little bit cleaner, and like there's a lot of things that I now use in order to do fun things on the show. And there's a product out there. It's a free product that I've recently gotten to know, and it's called StreamerBot, and that lets me have full control over OBS. It connects with Twitch. It connects with everything. It's very powerful. It's just an easy way to interact with OBS WebSocket. I'm not a coder. I have idea for thing, and I say, can thing happen to smart people like you two? That's how it works. You know, I don't know how to do it, but StreamerBot made it relatively easy for me to go in and actually do it. But now, when I'm transferring to another OBS on a different machine, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess because I have 3 different web sockets here, and I have OBS connected here and that. It's absolutely crazy. So what I ended up doing was running this machine back here, back in this studio, running StreamerBot, and then connecting to the OBS WebSocket upstate at my parents' house, which is very stupid, but it's how it worked. It's the easiest way for me to do it.
If you say it works, it is not stupid. That is the right way to do things. And that actually leads to one of the other questions that I had for everybody in general. When you're at a new machine, when you're at a different computer, when you're setting something up for the first time, what are the things you absolutely have to have? What are the first things you go get and set up on a new machine?
I want to hear Ubers.
He's been working on this recently.
I actually just went through this. I had a fit of rage. I say built a new computer. I actually bought the parts last March, and then a long series of events got in my way, and I just had a hardware problem. I was trying to I bought a computer last year, and I didn't put it together till like 2 weeks ago. And I actually had a similar problem with OBS. Oops, I forgot to export all my settings, and I had to frantically rebuild my scenes based off some files that I extracted, and had to figure out, okay, I have the files, but I can't just put them in OBS. That's a mess. What programs? Chrome, obviously. Visual Studio, but I'm a developer, so yeah.
Winamp.
I need something to play. Something to open images. I use a program called Faststone, which I found years ago. I love it. It's basically like IrfanView. Foobar for music, VLC for videos. Standard stuff like Discord. Steam. I actually didn't install that much on here. I've got a bunch of dumb utilities, but a lot of those, I'm using them now because I just set up a computer, and I'm probably going to uninstall them and never use them. Mostly everything I do is online. It's either in Steam or in Chrome. Or it's, a game, but nothing really. You don't install things anymore.
Yeah, I install Chrome, and a ton of what I do I can do over the web. I'll probably install Visual Studio Code, not even because I want to code anything, but because now it's the best text editor for everything. I install Winamp because I'm an old curmudgeon and I refuse to give up my 20-year-old music player. It's good. Winamp good. It's coming back.
It's
They're
not.
bringing it back for real.
They brought it back. They updated it and stuff, so it's not old anymore.
I'm a foobar guy, and I have a weird, gross, crazy skin on my foobar, and I haven't been able to update foobar for probably, I don't know, about a year because of the fact that it has like a crazy skin thingy on it. But it looks pretty, and it has everything, and it allows me to go through my 2 terabytes of Pokemon music that I currently use. So I don't know. I'm weird. So like I look at it like when I have a new machine, and I did this not recently but last year because I set up that machine. I need the first thing that I install is OBS, obviously, because you know, no matter what, whether it's on this machine or it's on the Jiggy machine or it's on my little laptop, I want to have something that I can live stream on at all times. Then what I do is I install, you know, well, Chrome first, obviously. Chrome, Discord. Discord is a big one. Uh, Fubar 4K video downloader. That's one that I download that I use to download videos or music that, you know, it doesn't have download or purchase links. Hey you, I don't pirate music,
Oh, of
but
course
if you
not.
don't give me a way to buy it, I'm gonna download your YouTube video. I'm just saying, give me a way to buy it. I'll pay for it. I'll pay 99 cents for a Pokemon remix. But if you don't, I'll credit you. It's in the beginning of every show. But yeah, 4K video downloader. I run. Let me see. What's on my thing? Oh, Parsec. I
Oh
have
yeah,
Parsec on every computer because it's the only way to get into things. Then there's some niche stuff like I always download the basically like the Elgato suite, so the Stream Deck software, because I have multiple Stream Decks that I have that float around. I have one that travels with me. It's in my camera bag at all times. It's just a white Stream Deck, not a mini, a real one, you know, but it's not the full thick thing. Let me see. What else do I have? Chatteroony is what I use. Chatterino, I'm sorry, is what I use to read Twitch chat. That one is very powerful right now. And what I can do is I export my settings from one, and I just have a text doc, and I import it on the other. And then some niche ones like I on all my computers that I stream on, I have to have like AverMedia utility because I often have a AverMedia capture card built in, or the 3DS underscore capture from Loopy that allows me to capture 3DS games. Steam. I always have Steam. And then one weird thing that you guys might be weirded out about, but maybe not. Every time I do a new computer, I have to download Wallpaper Engine, and I have to use there's a Windows App Store version. It's called Translucent TB that makes the Windows taskbar transparent,
yep.
and then I use that with my background. That's it. That's I don't know why. I just don't like the Windows taskbar. I guess I just like having my icons at the bottom left, and then whatever background I have with Wallpaper Engine. That's it.
I dig that.
You know.
I dig that.
I've got one more. I bought a program a long time ago called uh Ultramon, and it was a program for people who had more than one monitor, because back in the old days that wasn't supported by Windows. So if you set your wallpaper, it would just stretch weird, or screensavers would flip out. And this software was designed for people who had two monitors, so you could do things like put a different wallpaper on different one, or a different screensaver, and it did all these multiple monitor things. I think I bought this like way back in Windows like XP maybe, or 98 or something. It's a really old piece of software, and piece by piece. Oh, and it also lets you have a taskbar on the other monitor, which was not a native thing 20 years ago. And piece by piece, every bit of this has been, it was like I lived and died by this because I needed to have all these things. And like when you drag a window to another monitor, it would put the thing on the taskbar on that other monitor and not on that one. So it would go with it. So if you had 20 programs open, but 10 on each, you could see the icons separately. And piece by piece, all of this is slowly being baked into Windows, including the wall. I found out the wallpaper thing is native in Windows now. If you go into personalize when you set your wallpaper, set it, and then you can right click on it and say, make this the background on monitor 1 and make this one the background on monitor 2. And it just works. And so this program that I paid $30, $40 for is now obsolete.
20 some years ago, too.
Yeah, I've gotten my money's worth out of it.
I couldn't survive.
I used to do a lot of like I still install, even though I don't use them as much as I should. I still install the Adobe suite. You know, not all of them. I do Photoshop, I do Premiere, and I do After Effects. Not on the laptop, unless I'm going to Zeldathon. Then I do it on the laptop. But no, I guess it's on every machine that I own. I currently run 3 machines. Then you know.
You just try not to run it unless you're going to heat up a sandwich or something. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, if I'm gonna fry an egg, that's the bottom of this. Look at it. You see the piece of metal? This is, you know, you run After Effects on this. I was running After Effects on Zeldathon. This thing, it heats up. This thing burns. Piece of metal on the bottom of this laptop. I don't know why they thought that was a good design choice to put stainless steel metal on the bottom where you put it on your lap. But I guess they needed to for the cooling. So, but anyway.
Laptops aren't for laps anymore. They used to be once upon a time, but that has changed. They kept the name, but that ain't how anybody works anymore. And nobody can use one screen. Okay, maybe that's untrue. Maybe I really am spoiled. But without my 3, I cannot function. When I'm sitting just in front of a laptop, I'm like turning and looking, and there's nothing there.
I have a portable monitor that I bring with this, but I've gotten what I've realized is that now laptops are running 16 by 10 screens, and I'm a big fan of that. That little bit of extra like area is really good. Like it's like that little bit of extra screen space I've been able to manage to get through, you know. But
I still say what I need is one of the giant curved 32 by 9s. But I want to mount it vertically. Yes, exactly. That's what I need. I need a whole lot of text available on my side for some reason.
That's what I do. My second monitor over here is vertical. I can never not have a vertical monitor again.
You get spoiled because a vertical monitor is effectively 2 4x3 monitors stacked on top of each other.
Chat. Web pages are tall, not wide. I want to read long pages of documentation without scrolling back up and down.
Yeah.
See, I run into the problem at upstate at the other computer. It is I have a 16 by 9 monitor, and then I have a vertical 16, a vertical one. But the one thing that I run into is camera placement on my setups. I have currently 3 cameras. At upstate, I have 2. Where do I put? What is a good monitor layout? That's something that like I've been struggling with, because if I'm playing a game, I want it eye level. I don't want to like look down. And if I have 2 monitors stacked on top of each other, I do rectangle on top of rectangle. Then what's at my eye line? The crease in between them. It's just a weird thing. It doesn't exist. So what's the point of that? So then it's like, okay, so now you want to bring the monitor up. So then you have 2 monitors at eye line. But if you have 2 monitors at eye line, then what's in the middle? A crease that's down the middle. So now you're talking, you have a monitor in front of you, and then off to the side, you can do a vertical monitor. And I love that. But then where do I add the 3rd monitor? Because I, just like you, Jay, feel that I need a 3rd monitor. So right now, I currently have a quad monitor mount that I've had for about 10 years now, which is crazy to think about. That I've removed the fourth monitor, and that is where my camera is. My camera is far enough back in this like nook, and then I have a monitor above that off to the side that is not vertical, because if I go vertical it covers the camera, and then I have two monitors on top of each other, where it's like one monitor is basically eye line and the other one is facing up, or is above it facing like tilted down like this. But it leaves me with the problem of, I have one camera here, I have another camera over here which is all the way off to the side, and then I have my third camera which is just right next to this one, just more wide. It's a wide angle. So it's like, how do you stream? Where do you put cameras? Because say I was like a gamer angle, you know, gamer angle camera. We could talk camera angles all night, but like if I had gamer angles like this, but up more facing down, and more zoomed in. I can't do that if I have two monitors stacked on top of each other. The camera would be up there, you know?
It's like,
so it's like, how do you,
gamer angle.
yeah, like how do you do it? And the thing is now we're in a world where I personally, and I know I don't actually think I'm that unique, but I like my camera angle to be more straight on like this, as just a way for me to interact with the audience. You know, that's just, yeah, it looks weird if I'm like back here, but when I'm sitting up and I'm actually interacting, I'd like it to be straight on. The real problem I'm running into now is that here's my camera and here's my chat. So whenever I talk to chat, I look like this. I need to maybe talk about that. Elgato makes that that teleprompter that I was looking at that I wouldn't mind getting one day.
Yeah, no. Even if you don't go with theirs, having a teleprompter, and I mean they're not difficult to assemble yourself, would go a long way towards something like that. And it's one of the problems inherent in hardware. You can't put a camera right in the middle of a monitor. The next person that does that at CES is going to be, you know, a zillionaire. That's what the Apple thing, the Vision.
They did.
I know they did. I'm just in general, it's not.
It was at CES this last year. They took the pinhole camera out of one of the Galaxies and just put it right dead center in the middle of the thing. You can't even see it.
That's what I need. I need that eye contact. People have been yelling forever that Zoom fatigue, being tired of meetings and everything with remote work, is because of that. Because you're either directly staring at the camera or you are paying no attention whatsoever, but your face is always in line of sight. And Apple Vision, their killer app is going to be remote meetings like that, because it is immersed in your environment, but it is not your direct face view at all times. That's going to be the thing that sells those. All your fancy cameras. Blech. I don't know. Eventually, I'm going to pick up another camera.
I actually kind of cheat with this. I have my webcam down here. I'm propped up on top of one of my Echo Show that I have like right in front of me, and I have a little lip, one of those like mounts that like little lip that like hooks on the top of the monitor, and it fits perfectly there. But I bring it down for the podcast so it's more, you know, eye level, and this way the chat's like the video's like right above it. But I normally have it up above, just because it blocks part of the screen there. And I would put it off to the side, but I really don't have. There's this tiny gap between the monitors there, and I could kind of line it up, but it'd be a weird angle, or yeah, it's the same problem. Jyggy, I have a question. How do you actually switch between your cameras? Do you just have hot buttons on a Stream Deck?
Uh-oh, I think we lost your audio again.
Sorry, I've been muting, and then I think Jay, you're muting me. I don't know how it works. I
Marvel's
don't know
modern
anything.
technology, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but anyway, I've used the same exact mouse for over 10 years. This is the hey, mouse sponsors, hit me up. This is the Razer Naga Pro. I started with the Razer Naga Then I went to the Razer Naga Epic. Then I went to the Razer Naga Epic Chroma. Now I'm officially on the Razer Naga Pro. So it's a wireless mouse and it has interchangeable side buttons, but I only use the one with the numbers because even though I do not play, I don't play Mobies or any of that stuff. I use this specifically for I use this specifically for hotkeys. I cut between cameras by pressing the buttons on them. So if I press the 12 button on here, it cuts to my zoom in button. If I press the 11, it goes to the wide angle, and then it goes back if I click on the 10. And that is set up via using OBS's hotkeys. That they're all on one scene in the in OBS. All of my cameras are in one scene on OBS, and then they activate and deactivate depending on which button I push. That's how it works. You know?
That's amazing.
Is it the best way to do it? No. In fact, I actually a long time ago thought I was gonna transition to the Blackmagic. Oh God, it's called the Blackmagic. Oh my, what? It's a switcher. It's a Blackmagic Mini something. It's a rectangle with 3 HDMI's in, and it has buttons on it. The 810, thank you, Campy, in the chat. 810 Mini Pro I is the one that I ended up buying it with the entire stipulation that I was going to have one capture card, and that one capture card would have every camera on it. But then I realized that if the one capture card is receiving all of the camera footage, that means that I can't use the other cameras in fun, creative ways. You know? So one of the big things, and I can't show it here because this is just a raw camera feed, but one of the big things that I've been doing lately has been like the Game Boy camera. Jay is a big fan of Game Boy camera. Game Boy camera, the way it works is that it is 4 scenes in OBS that grab my camera source, use a ton of filters over top of it, then using streamer bot, whenever the button is pushed in chat, whenever the channel points is activated, streamer bot actually activates the scenes, which then animates the camera in. The camera is an overlay. It takes the photo, and then streamer bot grabs the photo from my computer. It uses the web. It actually uses the screenshot that it took, and then uploads that to Discord.
That's genius.
Yeah.
That's mad genius.
Yeah.
But it is pure genius.
It's really stupid. But I wouldn't be able to do that with the 810 because technically that would be one camera input, which is good for computers that. The 810 is a really good product if you, like at Coliseum. The 810 is a great product at Coliseum because we can send one feed to one capture card. But like we here at home having more or less 3 capture cards. This is the AverMedia Live Gamer Pro Live. It's their brand new 4K capture card because I said, why not? Let's have 4K 60 FPS. This one is the Streamer Cap, which is like their version of Elgato's Camlink. And then this one is just the actual Elgato webcam product. So that one's not a capture card, it's just a webcam. But yeah, that's how I do it. It's complicated, but you know.
It's effective though, man. I mean, your stream always looks fantastic. I will say that. And you know, your stream is what inspired me to buy a real camera for some value of real camera. You know, I picked up the Elgato Facecam, and I don't know how to light a scene, but if I did, I'd probably look better than I did on my old Logitech whatever I had.
Yeah, Elgato makes decent products, which is really funny because if you ask me about like even 5 years ago, if Elgato made maybe not 5 years ago, because that was COVID. If you asked me in 2017 if Elgato's products were good, no, they were still good back then. If you asked me in 2016 if Elgato's products were good, I would have said no.
They were finding their way.
No, it's just that Elgato The merger with Corsair really did good things for them, and they are no longer just a capture card company. They are now yeah. It can't be said. In 2015, yeah, it was the products were not good. The capture cards were not up to snuff. AverMedia was so eons ahead of them with latency and with quality and all this stuff. And now in the year 2024, we're in a weird situation where I say this as an AverMedia partner. I do think Elgato has finally taken that leap when it comes to. I have not used an AverMedia card other than the Camlink Pro, which is inside Campy's machine in Las Vegas. But I do know that all of their other products are magical. They're very well done. They're very good experiences. My machine upstate, the other one, currently is more or less entirely run on Elgato products. I have the Wave 3, which in my opinion is the current best USB microphone on the market. I don't know. I know that Elgato, they put out like a new one, but if you don't want to go heavy into XLR and like compressors and all that nonsense, if you just want a good easy peasy microphone that sounds really good, I still think the Wave 3 is the best one to go with. And so I used the Wave 3, and then I used the Stream Deck. No, I'm sorry, the Stream Deck Pro Plus. It has knobs on it. Yeah, it has knobs on it, and I basically have that set up just like I do here. But here, this is running into a cloud lifter, which is then running into a Go XLR, and then the Go XLR is how I control all the audio. But I will still say this to this day: the number one problem streamers have in 2024 is audio. Audio is the hardest thing to master. It is my number one enemy. It is the scariest thing, and there is still no real good way to do it. In fact, the way that these products are going, both Elgato with their Wave software, their Wave Link software, Go XLR was honestly the first one to really do it, and then I think the new ones is Beacon. And then even AverMedia has a product. I don't remember the name of it. Don't get mad at me, AverMedia. It's their version of the Wave Link, and then also the Go XLR. The solution that companies have come up with for streamer audio is do it yourself in a different program and then pump one audio source into OBS. It sucks. It sucks so much.
Yeah, it is. It is rough. It is rough. I mean, even I'm fighting with that, and I do music for some value of music. So I've got a bunch of sources coming in, and it's rough. It's rough. It is absolutely rough. If they could turn that into a solved problem,
I remember my big in like 2017, I was in my first New York City apartment, and hey, no, Blue Yeti's amazing. Uber Blue Yeti, that was my first ever mic, was Blue Yeti. Well, unless you count the built-in Logitech C922 webcam mic, which I also used, but my first real mic was the Blue Yeti, and believe me, Blue Yeti has saved us many times at charity events. But funny enough, I was running. I had a Rode Pro, a Rode Podcaster or Procaster. Worked on it for years. It lasted me. I still have it downstairs. It's a great little mic. And this one is obviously the Shure SM7B, but like the Procaster, I had that running. Okay. The chain on that was I had it running from the Procaster into a preamp, the preamp into a Roland VT3, which is a sound effects box that allows you to be like this with your echo and like do I don't know if that actually worked because I don't know what's coming out of the. It did, okay. But like it allowed you to do sound effects and change whatever was going into it. It was like it was a sound modulator. I have it in that closet. It's in that closet over there. But then that went into a Behringer wireless we use them. We used to use this Zelthon. I don't know if we still use it. A Behringer X Air 30, not 32, X Air 14, which had like it was a wireless. I connected it to my phone and I had all the things on it. Yeah, but Behringer does not. I remember this. Behringer does not have a way of connecting that to the PC. It used like generic audio drivers or whatever, which sounded terrible. It was awful. So out of one of the outputs of the X Air sound mixer, that was a Shure USB XLR to USB adapter, and that was my audio setup for years, and it sucked. It was rough. I'm very happy with the Go XLR now because that we used to run Scarlett VT VT3s and like the whatever they're called. I've done everything with audio and I'm very happy with the Go XLR now, but the one thing that still they do not have a solution for is web sources built into OBS. The only way to monitor those is to run them through a monitor and then have that monitor be an audio source on your Go XLR.
Yeah.
That's how it works. And that's also the only way to do capture cards right now. So
it's crunchy
really
to
dumb.
try and organize stuff like that too, man.
Yeah. It's wacky. Anyway.
We
turned this podcast turned into tech talk. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to turn your podcast into tech talk.
That's what we're here for. But I know you got your own show to do. So we're going to take a little break in just a minute here. Before we kick you out and go to break, though, can you give us just your elevator pitch? What's coming for Jyggy in 2024? What is this the year of?
This year, there's a lot going on this year. I mean, the good thing is that we're gonna be streaming on Twitch. We're gonna be streaming almost every night. That's the plan. Keep doing the thing. But we have a couple of big shows that I'm helping with the production of. TCC Throne Controllers Coliseum is coming in the first week of May. We got ourselves a possible other show happening mid-May, end of May. BB4G is happening probably at the end of May, leading into June. I don't know yet. Don't hold me to it. It's working on it. The Pokethon is going to happen sometime this year. I'll have more information on that soon. Zeldathon in August. And those are the big events. I'd like to go to GDQ. I would really like to go to GDQ. But if we're talking not events, May is the 12th year anniversary of me broadcasting of the channel. 12 years of me going live. So 12 years, Jyggy 12. There'll be a huge month of content in between all those fun charity shows, and I'm excited about it. We got new merch coming up, and I'm excited about it. You know, we just if you want a little plug, we just had our PAX East vlog just went out on YouTube about 30 minutes ago. So after the podcast, if you guys want to go check that out, you can check it out at youtube.com/Jyggy. So very excited about it. I shot everything on an iPod. I did. I shot not everything. I was the jerk, Jay. I was the jerk that was walking around with a 4K cinema camera, a 4K cinema camera in one hand. And then my other hand was a 2009 iPod Nano shooting at barely 480p. And I love it so much because it's just so fun and nostalgia. Yep. It really is.
Black magic over one shoulder and lo-fi in the other hand.
That's the thing. And I know, Jay, you're into lo-fi, but that's the iPod 5th generation Apple for some reason put a camera in it to compete with the flip video camera, because back then that was like a big deal. In 2009, the flip video camera, the like handheld mini cameras that were all the rage. Apple was like, we got to get in on this. Let's put a really cheap little camera in our iPod Nanos. But it just has this very interesting look to it that feels like lo-fi, but like found footage and all that. It's great. It's great.
Warm.
And
it's got a VHS feel.
yeah, it's very like over the top handheld big boy, like not digital video, like on a tape, film look to it. So that's a big thing, and I quite enjoy it. So I'll probably start doing a little bit more with the iPod, with the iPod stuff, if this video does well and I like it. So anyway, that's
We're going to send
all
our
I got.
audience there definitely to make sure that they get a chance to check it out and judge for themselves. We're going to be bringing our audience over to your show afterwards. Let me throw one more shout out in here for my man Jyggy 11. Thank you so much for coming and being here with us today. We appreciate you joining us. We're going to take a 5-minute break, run a little ad, go freshen up the water. We will catch you guys in just a few. Don't go anywhere.
The cat just turned on the air. What's it?
The cat just turned on the air. What's it? Technical difficulties going on over there. Welcome
No, he
back.
climbed up on top of the thing.
Is it like touch sensitive?
Yeah,
Lassiter's little
no,
peats
I mean,
are
no.
just enough to turn it on?
No, he was climbing up there, and his fat ass was enough to push the buttons.
I love that. It's terrible, but I absolutely love that because mine are the same way. They'll jump over here on the keyboard and turn it on, and I won't notice because it's plugged in and routed through my computer and everything, and I don't hear it unless I'm like plugged into the right source and everything's set right. So they'll just be playing piano, and nobody will know. Maybe I should set it up to record that. Who knows what they're playing when I'm not looking? Maybe they are better musicians than me.
We can fix that. We can put a thing over the power button. We can put a manual toggle switch on the power source. I have outlet I have outlet switches for things that don't have switches.
Fair, fair. Although it's not like it's terribly inconvenient for me if I can't hear it, and it's not like running on battery power. Is there a
Well,
finite
no,
amount
but
of magic blue smoke in there that'll run out eventually?
no, but if they're just laying on a bunch of switches and it's going, "Brrrr," it is
That is true. Zombie power and all of that.
DSPs and stuff, and well, not zombie power, but just like it is burning a line on that DSP, somewhere. Just
Fair and understandable. We'll consider something out with that. We'll figure something out with that. In the meanwhile, I should record them and just give them their own record deal on my label. What is my label? Worst records ever? I don't know. Do I have a label?
no.
Disintegrata and the Good Chemicals are both on the same label that has no name whatsoever.
The unlabel.
Yes, the unlabel. It's perfect. Urs, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Bon mercredi. Je ne parle pas français. Désolé. My English ain't so good either, for that matter. But yeah, welcome back. We hope you had fun hanging out with Jyggy in the first half there, getting a chance to see what was going on behind the scenes a little bit. We did get one teeny tiny little bit of a leak. I don't think anyone officially said when Zeldathon is, but it isn't when it was. I don't know if I can say anything. Maybe we chased Campy
No.
away. Campy's
No.
not here anymore.
Don't.
I can spoil it all. I can tell you his bit for TCC. It's going to be fantastic. I may be involved with something he's doing for TCC, and I'm excited for it. It's going to be so cool. I can't wait until I can tell you about it. You guys are going to love it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to bringing on more of the people that we work with doing the charity stuff and just hanging out and streaming and more of our friends and all of that whatnot. Point is, what's for dinner? You had those noodles. You had those new noodles.
Well, I had
A pack of new noodles, which was not dinner.
I want to say I think if you would have squished it down, okay, mind you that noodles are designed to be, kind of fluffed up. I think if you would have squished it down, it would have been maybe a cup.
Yeah.
Like the package wasn't vacuum sealed. Like it wasn't like vacuum squished. There wasn't a whole lot of air in it, but it wasn't very inflated. But I think if I would squish it all down, it would only been about a cup of noodles. But not like
I can understand is
like one measuring
serving, but
right. That's the thing. But it was good. Weirdly,
how was it price wise?
I can't believe you people come here voluntarily.
I want to say I know it was at least $2.50.
I was gonna say if you had two digits after that too, it was too much money.
It was about $2.50. I think it may have been like $2.65. Because I'm looking through my like
38 cents a pack is too much.
Well, I grabbed a couple of the Yosaba rectangles.
Yeah.
And those are always like $1. And then they had those, like, oh, I'll grab one of those. And I didn't realize it. And I grabbed a Kung Pao and a teriyaki. And I'm going through my receipt and like, wait, why was my total so much? And I'm like, okay, yeah, the ham was like, $10, but yeah, I got a bunch of ham. And like, what was, those things were $2.50 a piece. So it's like, oh, yeah, no.
I'm still intrigued. I definitely at least want to try them after seeing them. And you know me, I eat all things noodles, so it is definitely something I'm interested in. But ever since I found that stupid McCormick mushroom and onion seasoning, That's what everything will taste like from now on. Having a milkshake? Oh boy, it's my favorite. Chocolate, mushroom, and onion. Umami
I did
cocoa.
throw. I threw a couple mushrooms, like 4 little medium-sized button mushrooms, through the slicer and threw that in. There's for some volume,
Yeah, yeah.
but um, I want to throw before you show me your thing. I do want to throw back to the software thing.
Yeah.
I linked a site in chat called Ninite, and it lets you build a custom to you installer package all the software that you use, and it's like, I know I want these things, and I want to push a button and install them on the computer, and it's those programs with their installers taken out and a better installer put in around them that will just auto click yes to all, like auto installs them to their default locations with their default settings and just puts them in the places and just boo 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 boo, done.
Oh, I like that.
So
I think I'm gonna
if
have
you
to
are a
try this
person,
out.
if you have a standard set of stuff and they support a lot of things that are very common, it's all free software, etc., or free to you to install or whatever. But it's like, if you have stuff that you install on every machine and you need to rapidly get up to thing, you can just make your Ninite package, throw it on thumb drive, and just have stuff.
Night night.
And if you're the type of person that doesn't care where you install it, it just, you know,
Hey, thank you for the tip, sir. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Yeah, that sounds amazingly useful. And the thing is, I don't switch computers very often, but when I do, it's usually without a whole lot of warning. I need to do the backup and the preparation now because the next time I switch computers, I'm not going
mhm.
to know it's going to happen. I'm that guy who's like, you have to change the oil, but for computers. I drive
Yeah.
them into the ground every couple of years. And that is absolutely what I need for that. You know, we have Spike completing bad games on here, and we never got around to talking to Jyggy about Ages. Because you just started
Oh,
playing Ages. I saw on your stream that you have started playing Oracle of Ages with the file name Jyggy, no less. How has your
so
experience been with Ages?
okay. I played Ages when it originally came out, and based on his comments of years and things, he may not have been in out of diapers when it came out. I'm
Yeah.
joking. I'm joking. I know he's not that young. Maybe.
Well, the thing is, but anyway, go on.
Oracle of Ages year 2001.
Go look it up on Zelda Dungeons. Okay, he would have been out of diapers. I would
But not by
hope.
much.
I would hope
Would he been in school?
he would have just started.
Oh my
I know. I know. I know.
Oh
I'm
my
over here
god.
thinking I remember playing The Legend of Zelda because it was the Zelda game that existed, you know.
Oh my god. I wanted to jump in, but like the audio stuff, I didn't want to make it worse. My first Nintendo, my NES, was the special edition that came with the gold Zelda cartridge.
Yep.
That was my Nintendo.
Back in back
Yeah.
in the good old days.
So, anyways, I have a physical copy of Ages and Oracle, the red and the blue cartridges, and I played them way back in the day. And yes, they were hard, but all Game Boy games were long and hard because you got your money's worth out of them because they were expensive. They were expensive back in the day.
Yeah.
Dinky little Game Boy cartridges were also 40, 50, $60 because that's what video games cost. And I have a soft spot because I also like Zelda games. And I got my Switch stuff set back up, and I was going through, and I saw that they had added it on there. And Ziggy, Jyggy has a problem with the Oracle's games because Capcom is evil and also just lots of things. And I wanted to play it because I had not played it.
Sorry,
And
I don't know that.
what are you? Shut up. My Echo uses
Jyggy with a
the
Z.
name that, yes, because the A word goes off way too often. Yeah, I started to play it and I was like, I should actually play through Oracle of Ages and eventually Seasons to see exactly how bad it was. Because we always tease Jyggy about, when it comes up because he hates those games and, Wheel of Ages, spin, 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 tell us the thing that will make Jyggy cry today. But other than getting lost and not knowing where to go because just due to lack of screen real estate, they don't have a good way to if the resolution was just a little bit bigger or the pixel density, yeah, if the resolution was about twice as big and you could just fit more than 12 dot matrix pixels at a time, I think it would be better.
The game
It's
itself isn't inherently bad, it's flawed.
No, the game isn't flawed, the OS is flawed. You are limited by the amount of data that you can show at once, so it's got to be very, if you didn't pay attention. And I had the same thing he did. It's like you get streamer brain where you're like trying to focus on more than one thing and you're just like instinctively just yeah. And like, crap, no, I didn't read that thing. Oh no.
Yeah.
It's different if you're holding the device and you're staring at it. It's the only thing you're looking at it and you're consuming that video game. It would be fine. But when you're trying to play the game and look at chat and look at the other thing and do the other thing and you're just mashing A to get through the text and you're like, no, I can't do that with this game. I actually need to pay attention. Where did they send me after that dungeon? I have no idea. I had to go back. There's more than once that I reached over and hit and smacked clip that and then sneakily brought the clip up in the browser that doesn't play the audio to scroll back and see what the thing said 30 seconds ago. It's like, oh, go to the graveyard, the west graveyard. Okay, I know I'm trying to go west. I'll go that way. It's like,
the thing is, Link to the Past had a similar setup. I don't want to say similar problem because they had a solution. They had a similar setup. But the dialogue would tell you where to go, and then it would stamp a marker on your world map. And if you skip through all the dialogue, you had that marker on the world map. And the Aegis games don't give you that. That's one of those small affordances that makes a world of difference in the playability and accessibility of the game. Not to get all design of everyday things, but,
Well, one of the other problems is they came directly off the back of Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
And they knew their market, and they weren't trying to make a generally accessible, new IP. They were selling the Oracle's games to the people who had just played Link's Awakening, which is why it's basically the same asset set, the same control, and the same everything. Is they just assumed they weren't trying to sell you a new game; they were selling you a sequel.
Yeah.
And so they could afford to skip some stuff because they knew they were selling it to Zelda gamers.
And that's the thing is, Link's Awakening is so close to perfect, and the Oracle games are so close to Link's Awakening. There are issues because of, presentation of information and everything, but the core is still there, and it's so tightly wrapped, and they could do a little bit of experimentation with them still. The Game Boy was their platform to innovate with Zelda at the time.
Yeah. Well, look how much improvement they even managed to make on that with the Switch remake.
Yeah.
Or remaster. The Switch version of Link's Awakening.
All those little quality of life improvements because you're not tied to a Game Boy anymore, for one thing.
not having it on one, static screens. You could just walk from one within the village. It's all one big area until you change major regions. It does, briefly slide out, but it's just smooth and like map markers and over here and just not being limited to 2 buttons, and putting the shield on a dedicated button so you didn't have to have these shield things like that.
Yeah.
If they were to take the Oracle games, basically drop them into the Link's Awakening Switch engine,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm willing to bet almost every mechanic they need is already in that engine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or would not be very much of a stretch to code into it. Smush the 2 ROMs together and like, oh look, you pick at the title menu and your save just is red text or blue text to know which version you have, and replace the link cable mechanic with just, it just switches, which ROM set it's pulling from, and it, just switch the color of your text
Yeah.
file so you know which world you're in. Just
Right.
put them in one thing.
Grezzo would make a fortune if they were to do that right now. They absolutely
God.
would.
People would buy that up in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I'm reaching for my wallet already, and we're just talking about it, like reflexively.
Yeah.
Like, I want that. Give me those
Yeah.
games in the new framework.
I think there is still a world for 2D Zelda.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But with the lessons we've learned from having more powerful systems, I say more powerful, but I don't mean just in the draw more triangles per second sense. We have additional sensors. We have 64 damn buttons now, Take advantage
We have a
of
touch
that.
screen.
Right.
We have a touch screen. It's woefully underused on the Switch because they don't know if you're if it's docked across the room on your thing. They never really know when they can get away with it, but
we run into that sometimes. I have to do a whole lot of dancing to check and see how you're playing a game. That's
it's no longer. Well, the Switch presented a unique problem that never really.
A lack of identity.
No, there was not one controller.
Yeah.
There was 2 very distinct control methods. Actually, not even just 2, because it's either you had the Joy-Cons docked, but then you had the tilt, then you had the additional, you knew you were holding the device.
Yeah.
And you could use, like, you knew the touchscreen was accessible. It was right there. You could hey, reach over and tap the screen and do stuff. Or if it was the Joy-Cons are detached, that's a whole, but it's in kickstand mode, that's a whole different device, because now you have two controllers, and you have 2 different, when they're docked, you have they actually, I don't know if they average between the 2 or they just turn one of them off and they only use one of the tilt thing. But when you have the Joy-Cons detached, you have 2 completely independent 6-axis controller things to be able to read.
Yeah,
and then if you're playing with a Pro controller, you have a tilt sensor again, but you have one, but you have different set of
all
buttons,
the buttons
now
from each of the 2 set. Yeah.
You have 2. You have L1 and you have L1 and L2, not just L1 R1. You have 4 shoulder buttons, and you have 2 thumbsticks, which is different than the one thumb. It's like, oh, this is just a wildly different. You have no idea. It's got to be crazy to write a Switch game. Like, the amount of abstraction you have to do.
Yeah.
To what can I read?
Especially
you
because
have to process.
The left and right sides of the grip send different stuff too.
Yeah.
If you have a thumbstick, you don't know which thumbstick it is. You have to assume both thumbsticks are the same thumbstick, unless you need 2 thumbsticks because you need 2 controllers.
Well, yeah, and then you turn them, so you have the shoulder buttons on top, and then you effectively have 2 very tiny controllers. But now you've got a left thumbstick and 4 and 4 buttons on the right. And it's like, oh, so now you got to detect if the joysticks are in horizontal mode and not in a vertical orientation, and like treat that as a controller versus like, it's got to be a nightmare to do, but you have the accessibility.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you go to an Xbox, there is a controller profile. Everything is going to come in shaped like a controller. It's going to have buttons. It's going to have a D-pad. It's going to have four shoulder buttons, 4 face buttons.
Yeah,
A
your
start, a
option
select,
is,
a D-pad, 2 joy.
do I invert the analog or not? That is your option, period.
Yeah. I don't know. Even with, I think there's a lot of room for improvement on games we already had to be re-released on the Switch, but in an updated, enhanced way. In the same way that we had Link to the Past and that we had Link Between Worlds, which was effectively Link Between the Past 1.5.
Yeah, yeah.
Not quite a 2, but like one, like more, but not quite a second one. But like on the same, it was a continuation. It was a 1.5. There's a lot of games we could just remake them, but add more content, like pre-bake in a DLC almost of additional content, almost the way the DX, the Link's Awakening DX stuff, where they added the red and the blue and the stuff, like re-release the games in
Zero
an updated
Mission.
engine. Yes. Oh my
Zero
god!
Mission.
If they,
That was the one that did it the
don't want to
most
encourage. I don't want to encourage just re-releasing content and re-scraping the barrel. Like, go make new stuff, but at the same time, we have technology. Make it better.
Yes. You can make stuff
You
like the stuff we had that works right this time. I'm not saying you have to re-release every IP, but there are a lot of them that would be perfect if. Okay, well, your if is here. Let's make it perfect now. And Zero Mission remains the prime example of that to me. That's only because I have not finished Prime Remastered yet, but I never played the original Prime either. I wanted the original Prime, but
I think it's more about giving the game authors, if they're still alive, a chance to achieve the dream they were actually trying to make the first time, and not be saddled by the limitations of the limited hardware they had to work with at the time.
yeah. Because you know
And
the
not
vision.
everything needs a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox. I'm not even going to guess how many combinations of X's and S's and what. Oh my god, what are they smoking over there at their naming department? You know, yeah. But you don't need that much. You just need not to be limited by the 4 kilobytes of RAM in a GBA. What could you? How much smoother and less yelling invoking would Triforce Heroes be if it weren't on such a clumsy system?
Right, right. And the network stuff too. I want to complain about that a little bit, but that the network complaint is now a solved problem.
Yeah.
So
Mario Kart 8 re-release 17 is proof that they know how to do networking over the internet with almost no lag, and people will play the hell out of it.
yeah,
Online Smash Brothers exists.
with
Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct, internet, yeah, internet live lag dependent gaming is a solved problem.
yeah,
Re-release Triforce Heroes.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Give it to us in a way we can access it now. I want to play it. I don't want to say that too loud because I know what happens if I say that too loud. Say Triforce Heroes 3 times and Mags just appears and drags you off into the darkness. But yes, I actually would. I would with the ad- advantages of hardware we have that make it accessible and the quality of life improvements it could have.
And the other half of your line item, and we'll wrap this up. Spite completing games. I did. It's okay. Ages I wanted to play because I like Zelda games and I like retro stuff, and I just wanted to play something
Right.
not the spite. The spite part of that statement comes from a game I was playing on stream recently called Treasure Hunters. It is a 3D walking around, not a walking simulator. It is a metal detector simulator.
Yeah.
They never actually state that because it's not just metal detecting, but it is a walking around simulator with the metal detector. Yes. Except it is poorly optimized. It's got a frame rate cap issue. It pushes my video card way too hard than it shouldn't. I actually had at one point I had to take the side off of my case because my video card was overheating. That is a crazy amount of work it's throwing at it.
Yeah.
And that was with it turning all the stuff all the way down. It's just bad. It was crashing. It's broken. And I pushed through all the crashes until I 100%ed the achievements.
Yeah.
Because I found out you never have to actually 100% get all the stuff out of the zones to get all the achievements. And I'm like, F that. I'm not going through. Well, there's one of the areas that's broken and you have to you get 2 or 3 missions in, and by that point they send you like, oh, go get a thing out of this amphitheater area, but you will have cleared that out in the other missions trying to get 10, clean up their trash in the area. And chances are if you cleaned out that area first, they don't respawn, but you have to get a specific item out of the amphitheater. So you have to reset the zone, which resets your progress. And there's another one that you also have to reset because it is bugged. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm never gonna, and you don't get anything for 100%ing him anyway.
I'm
But
not
I
going to
pushed
pretend
through.
that I've never released broken, buggy stuff, but there's a line, man.
I looked into it. My total playtime was a little over 24 hours. I want to say like 26 or 28 hours. But it was a push. It really was. And this company has cranked out a lot of simulator games. A lot. And they're still putting them out. And I think they just don't want to go back to an old game that probably why did you buy it? Like they're not going to fix it. Like it's like a 6 or 7 year old game now. Like they're not going to go back and fix it. They probably don't have the source code to it. They're just cranking these out. Not quite asset flips, but
It's not even shovelware, it's bucketware. The stuff that falls out from the people making shovelware gets picked up in buckets and released as bucketware.
yeah.
That's bad. That's rough.
Just don't promise me we're never going to make like asset flip games.
See, the thing about that, though, I promise you we are not going to make games with the intention of asset flipping them multiple times to re-release to different audiences.
There used to be a anecdote sort of people making, shooter of the week. They just went and opened Unreal Engine 3 shooter demo project, got some asset packs for free off the store, slapped them in, made, some generic gun models or whatever out of whatever free pack they got, put a title on it and shipped it out.
Yeah.
They assembled free assets out of starter template projects. I have not done 3D development in a long time, and I haven't done game development other than fixing some of your half-baked stuff that was really just adding on to it. But like, I can tell you that Treasure Hunter game, I can see where they open template, save as new project,
You can see where
put
the
their
seams
logo
are.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to do that. I just have to be careful with the phrase asset flip games because there's a lot of games that we're going to remove assets we probably shouldn't be using and put in different assets and actually release
no.
the game.
No.
We are going to do 100%.
Yeah.
But no, we're not going to staple together 3 tutorials and put a price tag on it. No, hell with that.
My sister bought me the game.
Yeah. And I mean, I can understand. On the surface, it sounds very much like something that would appeal to you. And executed well, I would have to be prying you away from your computer with that one, you know?
If it had like a proper like infinite mode or something, or had like the story was a joke, it was just a loosely stitched thing with typos and whatever, but like it could have been so much more.
Yeah.
I would be playing it a lot if it didn't crash every 3 minutes and had no purpose and was just broken.
It's big rigs over the road treasure hunting. As opposed to big rigs over the road racing. Which is the quintessential example of a stapled together asset flip game.
Yeah.
By the way, if you have never seen video footage of big rigs over the road racing, do yourself a favor and go find them. It's majestic. That's the word I'm choosing for this. It is majestic.
This is a total non sequitur, and this is a total gap bridge while you spin up the thing you're going to show me. I heard on a forum somewhere somebody was making for the Apple Vision Pro just because they could. They got a development one. They were working on making Desert Bus.
I'm into it. I'm here for it.
The battery on that thing does not last that long.
Okay, trade off. Play plugged in. I don't know. I'm into it anyway. Do it. I want Desert Bus. I want multiplayer Desert Bus. I want someone to get up from the passenger seat back there and take the driver's place when it's time to switch out.
Shift change.
Yes. That is what I want for Desert Bus VR Extreme Unlimited Championship Edition.
Or that Sonic one where you just get there in 2 hours.
What was this? Was it Sonic Blast that had the Infinite Knuckles jump glitch? Or Sonic Boom? Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom! No. Yeah, Sonic. Anyway, one of those had an Infinite Knuckles jump glitch. There are some games that just don't survive a transition to 3D.
No.
And I feel like there is a large division in Sonic the Hedgehog because there are 2D games starring a blue hedgehog named Sonic, and there are 3D games starring a blue hedgehog named Sonic, and never the twain shall meet.
Yeah.
The connection just isn't there at all.
Although, I will never not. If I had a way, realistically, to play the Dreamcast Sonic game with the Chow Garden, and you had to play through it with you had the different, you had
Sonic
and the female Sonic. Was that Sonic Adventures?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
And the robot and the fat cat.
Big the cat.
You had to play through it. Yeah, and you had to play through it like 6 different times, play through the same story with different characters to see the different paths and stuff. And it's like, that was cool. Give
Yeah.
us that, not COD 12.
Bomb Rush. There's a third word. I don't remember the third word. Bomb Rush something is a game that I need to pick up because it is apparently Jet Set Radio. Except you can also skateboard and BMX.
Yes.
I need that game.
I know the game you're talking about.
I need that game. How long did I yell for a new Jet Set Radio and then they released one in secret and I didn't know? I mean, I know it's not them. It's a spiritual successor. But the point is, it's the same damn game.
It's called Jet Set.
It's Bomb Rush something with the C. What's the? I should know this. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. That's what it is. But it is legitimately. It's the equivalent to Jet Set Radio, and it's so good. So good. I want it. The more I watch it, the more I want it. I need that game. Jet Set Radio was so good. Phantasy Star Online was so good. Didn't I spend a whole episode screaming that I wanted a new original Phantasy Star Online? Not a Blue Burst or a 2 or anything. I want that original game back. I want the first one. Again. Can I play it, please? I don't want to have to install a Dreamcast emulator. I would play that with my friends.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, is we hit a point where the good games just aren't emulatable.
Yeah. I mean, with PSO you can, but their online service was designed global first. They wanted to be an MMO, and the missions were all instances. I want small multiplayer. I don't want big multiplayer. I want small multiplayer. I only trust my friends. I don't want to play with strangers. They're going to tell me how bad I suck. My friends are kind enough to keep that information to themselves. That's all I want. I want to fail a mission with people I like because I'm bad and not have them say, "You're so bad you can't play with us anymore." I realize the solution is get good scrub, but come on, man.
No, I was right. They're doing a new Jet Set Radio.
I did hear about that as well. Sega said that they're bringing that back too.
Yeah, for real.
But until then, I have Bomb Rush Cyberfunk.
Yeah.
And then I'll have even more Jet Set Radio.
And the music was done by the original
set a collective of artists, yeah. With Mr. Dr. Professor DJ Professor K, yeah. Oh man. Oh, those games were so good. Fantasy Star Online was good too. Choo Choo Rocket was good. I did actually play that one.
Why did that not come back?
Choo Choo Rocket? Nobody remembers it but me.
Why didn't Choo Choo Rocket come back as a mobile game? Half the fun of Choo Choo Rocket was an online game, because it was one of the few games we had Scott's old NLS account, and we played Choo Choo Rocket at 3 a.m. on dial-up. Why did nobody ever remake Choo Choo Rocket? Just the online part as a mobile game. There's enough control there. You could figure out a control scheme. You don't need a whole controller for it.
It's on my notes. It is officially on my notes. Ignore that line that says Brooke pee pee poo poo. Important notes from Zeldathon team leads meeting yesterday. Anyway. Yes, Choo Choo Rocket Mobile should be a thing. Sega should have put it together. And if they're not going to, by God, we should. We'll call it Chi Chi Racket.
Sega just like drop the ball in a big way? Like over the last decade?
They stopped making hardware.
Yeah, I mean, that was inevitable.
And they started focusing. Well, yeah. No, honestly, they really did. I can
Focusing on
make
what? What did they replace it with?
Sonic.
Nothing.
Sonic.
Not even.
Not games, but Sonic.
Just the concept of it.
Yes. They replaced all of their hardware with Sonic branding and forgot that they also made games. That is unfortunately what happened. But they finally woke up from their nap is what it is. They're doing a Rip Van Winkle now. They're coming back. They're like, "Oh yeah, we make games too. Let's make it happen. Let's bring some of these together. Let's get those names that you've been waiting for a decade. Let's put some damn games out wherever we can."
That Golden Axe. If they
Oh,
don't screw that up, they're gonna.
that's
Dude,
gonna be
all
so
that
cool.
stuff, all the stuff they announced at that thing, Golden Axe and the Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi, and just like
Yeah.
all their classic IPs, they're just gonna like just have a fountain of money flowing into them because we grew up on these and we are adults and we want nostalgia and we have disposable money.
All we have to do is convince them not to make new hardware to put it on. When they see their success, they're going to be tempted to get back into hardware and re-enter the console race, and that would be the final nail in their coffin.
No, they won't make a new one. They won't make hardware.
Lord, I hope not.
No. Even Microsoft doesn't want to make hardware.
They
There's
did it
a lot
well.
of kerfuffle going around. Well, no. As soon as the consoles started being literal just PCs,
Yeah.
it was the end of the end. It was the beginning of the end. Like this whole like antitrust storefront, this whole like PlayStation cross thing that's going on. There's a very strong rumor going around, and I've heard this from a couple different places, and I hope they're not just all cross echo chambering themselves, but that there's a good chance that they're just going to start straight up like having a PlayStation App Store on the Xbox to sell the software wherever you want to buy it.
Man, I would.
Because the platforms are going to get the platform underneath it is so similar at this point. There's nothing special. It's like different, better hardware. It's like, okay,
If this will never happen, but if we could get Nintendo on board with that, oh man.
no, Nintendo's hardware is too specific.
I know, but
But
what
basically,
a perfect world it would be.
An X Pro and a PS5 are basically the same goddamn thing. There's slightly different architecture underneath, but it presents as here is storage, here is PC, here is graphics card. You know, it's fundamentally the same difference between like, oh, my computer's got an NVIDIA video card and yours has got an AMD. Steam games don't fucking care.
Nope. CUDA does.
Render this package, please. Put it on the screen.
Yeah.
You know,
Here's a pile of triangles for you.
yeah. I would go out tomorrow if they announced tonight at midnight that they were going to put the Steam store on one of the consoles and a huge swath of games were just ready to go on it, but you just could use the games that you already bought on. You could use your PC Steam version of it on the you're licensed for it. It would just cross work on it. Like, oh, you bought No Man's Sky on there. It just you can now play it on your PlayStation. We don't care. You run the Steam app, the Steam launcher on your PlayStation 5, and anything you've already bought on Steam, you can just play on better hardware. Like, oh, I don't have a good gaming rig. You know, I've got like an okay laptop, but I don't have a game machine. But if I could just buy a PlayStation 5 and use my Steam library on it to play it in 4K at 120 FPS or whatever, I would buy one in an instant.
In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
You know why I don't have a PS5? There are fuck all I want on it.
Yeah.
There's not a
Problem I
single
run into.
PlayStation 5 game that came out in this. No, there was something. There was one game. There was something that came out that wasn't Final Fantasy that I'm like, that's actually kind of tempting, but I don't have a PS5 and I'm not going to get a PS5 just to get it.
I want an Xbox 360 because there was a Katamari game that was only available on the 360.
What?
Everybody loves Katamari. I think. And I want a PS3 because at the same time, a different Katamari game came out on PS3 that was only available on PS3.
We love Katamari?
That would be it, maybe. There was one
'Cause that's
called
on
Everyone
Switch.
Loves. There was one called Everyone Loves, and there's one called We Love, and then I don't remember what the other one is. But there was one that was.
They re-released We Love Reroll. We Love
Then
Katamari.
that would have been the second
Reroll
one.
plus Royal Reverie. They re-released the Switch Katamari and they added the other thing to it.
Beautiful Katamari. Beautiful Katamari.
Oh, okay.
That was the 360 one. And then what was the one on PS3?
Wait a second. Let me check my. I might.
The one on PS3 is Katamari Forever.
Okay.
But those are the only
I
ways
have-
to play those.
I have Katamari Reroll,
Yeah.
but they re-released that after that, and they added something else to Katamari Reroll, plus something else.
Yeah. But as far as I know, those two games still have story missions that haven't been included in any of the other bundles or re-rolls or re-releases.
I would check because they pumped out a bunch of those re-releases real quickly there.
But we've talked about this before. The only reason I want an Xbone at all is because I have that weird psychotic need for validation in releasing a game for the Xbox. There is no
Yeah.
game I want it for aside from mine. And I can't tell you exactly when that happened, but you're right that it is. The platforms are well-dressed PCs with dedicated gaming hardware, but it's not specific gaming hardware. It is hardware that is targeted specifically toward gaming, but it's PC hardware.
Like, to put it in scope, I am holding. I've got these are the party games, which I keep separate because I grab them and go. But I've got those 6 and these and these and these. I am holding in this little package right here about $1,000 worth of Switch games.
Mm-hmm. Hey, next time I see you, let me borrow Dread.
Okay.
Thank you. I promise I'll return it in the right number of pieces still working. But I do want to play through that one.
Yeah. Remind me, I'll bring my Switch. Well, I'll bring my Genki dock. We'll hook it up to the giant TV in the living room.
I will remind you.
We will play games.
I like that idea. I also need to talk to you about that giant TV in the living room. I might want to see about putting a slightly smaller TV on the wall that has speakers built in.
Or we could just get speakers for that.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't have to worry about that incompatible signal problem it has or whatever. My jank solution of repurposed telecommunications equipment in lieu of a TV.
I know how to properly hang a soundbar and satellite speakers. In fact, I really strongly like the one I have.
We'll talk. We'll talk. I do need a better solution in there, but we will talk.
Yeah. So you're gonna show me this thing?
No, actually, it's about time for us to wrap up. Yeah, fine, I'll show you the thing.
Show me the thing.
I'll show
Don't
you
forget
the
to hit.
thing. It's over there.
Don't just share in the thing. Make sure you hit the thing to go to the other.
It's over there, I promise. Look, I made a title screen for the Untitled Cafe game. since I wrote most of the design document already.
Jason! You were not supposed to work on this.
Yeah, I know, but what do I got? See around my arm here. Some soy milk, some cocoa. I do have sugar. I can make myself a soy hot cocoa. Yay! Bread, some peanut butter, and some marshmallow fluff to make a fluffernutter.
We gotta talk about frame capping the stuff we do.
Okay.
Because some of these engines and stuff will run way too high FPS because they can.
No matching dish found. Come on. Almond fluffernutter spinach garlic veggie soup sounds delicious. What else can I make?
The sound? No, I didn't build in a mute. It's against my religion.
I don't have a button for it, but I have a mute. The mute is there. I just do not have a listener listening for an action to mute. Is that okay? For I worked on this for a couple hours proof of concept?
Yeah, the music's a bop.
It's not bad.
I'm just teasing.
It's not bad.
I'm just teasing him because he never builds in a mute.
I never do. I never put in a way to turn the sound off, and that drives me crazy too because I always turn the sound off. I just do it the hard way. But Fuzzy has gotten me in the habit of knowing that I have to have sound. Hang on, do I have maple syrup? I got sugar syrup. Fries. If I put the gravy on the fries, is that a recipe? I'm trying to remember. I didn't put in a ton of recipes yet because I just wanted to test and see.
The numbers on the second row are really hard to read.
Yeah, I have plans. This really is just hey, I started working on it. It technically
Is Metroid done?
yes, no, yes, yes. Metroid needs
For real?
the new version put up on the site, but yes. I will put that up on the site tonight.
No, this is not the Bejeweled grocery game.
No, that is a different game altogether. That, actually. I got a link to that somewhere here, right? Yeah, there we go. This is the grocery store shelf sorting game. And look, it's got a mute.
Oh.
There you go. You can control the sound. And we'll just watch it play itself because I'm too busy to play games hosting a podcast. No, I started with inspiration from that one or from this one and started working on the cafe game. I have kind of a design document put out, and yeah, I do need to go back over yours too. I need to go back and have a look at it. When are the brand deal flavored creamers going to be introduced to cafe game? When they drive up to my house with a truck full of money and say, "Hey, put us in your game." Yeah, we've been trying to add a tracked mode or self-play modes to a lot of the puzzle-type games we have. Piggle has one as well. It's got a watch mode where you can just watch it drop the pigs.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, no, the more I worked on the sorting one, the more I was like, I actually do want to make a cafe sim. So, at least, you'll have to give me this much. At least I wrote down what I wanted to do. A pretty in-depth explanation of it. So I had thought out the process up front before I started working on it. I'm going in the right direction. I hope. But yeah, can do. Hopefully, we're going to get together sometime this weekend. I got to put out a when to meet tonight. Hopefully, we're going to get together this weekend and talk about what else we need for an official release of Can Do. And what's the new game called?
Yeah.
We don't know yet. It is still called Untitled Cafe Game until we decide. But it's somewhere in between, like, Papa's Pizzeria meets Minecraft crafting meets Small Business Simulator.
Honestly, let's just call it Untitled Cafe Game.
No,
It worked for. I play that stupid idle game that's literally just called Unnamed Space Idol.
New game when? Let me get through Metroid Marathon. I'm still kind of proof of concepting it out. Let me get through Metroid Marathon. We'll get Can Do out very soon, hopefully.
Oh, Connor wins. Connor wins.
Oh my.
Ship it.
I think we might have to. I think we might have to. I like that one. That one. But anyway, when we talk about the Can Do release, we're also going to talk about the paid releases. If you want to support us and give us some money for gaming, we'd like to put it up on itch. I maybe put it up on Steam. We'll talk about that. And get a version out for mobile on the Android Play Store. Because those are pretty close to complete, I think. We're going to have our, like, checklist hole poking meeting. Did we cross all the I's and dot all the T's meeting? But we have them working functionally on Android devices. We have it installable on Windows. We have all that good stuff. So, but yes, new game soon, and thank you for the sub.
What do we need to do to get it on?
On Steam
what
or
do
on
we need
Android?
to put it on Steam? On Steam.
$100 and a Steamworks account.
Oh.
I can set up a meeting with Jacob if you want to do that. He done it with what you know up in the rotator there, Desolate Realms.
Oh yeah, I need your what's it for how you did that.
Okay.
That is literally what I wanted to do.
Yeah, no, I got you for that then.
Like I know you probably have them all in like a sub scene, but like how the hell do you cycle them?
There's a source called Image Rotator or Slideshow.
Oh, okay.
It's a built-in OBS source.
Oh. No, there's not.
Okay, I have an OBS source called Slideshow.
It can't be that easy.
I don't know how to tell you this.
Are you
my
shitting?
friend. But OBS.
Oh my god, it's right there. How did I never?
OBS good at things like that. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. That you can do that.
Oh my god. It is literally that easy.
But anyway, we'll have more details about the cafe game as we kind of settle them out and get things
Join
to a
the
point.
Discord.
Yeah,
Get updates.
Join the Hergel Discord. If you go to Hergel.com, there's a link to the Discord at the top. Stay on top of everything that's going on with the games we work on, where we're going to be doing stuff, what we're doing, who's doing what. It's also
Oh
where
wait, no,
yeah, no,
not
that's
Discord.
my Discord. Do we need a Hergel Discord command? I should make you moderator on my Nightbot. Oh wait. I know. Here,
I'm on it.
If you're sure. But yeah, the Hergel Discord
Yes,
is the best place to stay aware of what's going on with the games as we're working on them and what's coming up and how to get into secret previews and when we're hosting Hurgle game nights and stuff like that, which are still in the works. They are still in the works. Is it narcissistic to give ourselves a shout out? I'll shout out Hurgle
No.
Studios. Make sure you're following us there because we're going to be doing like dev streaming and stuff like that over there as we get more into it. But yeah, that was pretty much all I had. I wanted to show you that I had a moment the other day and decided I had to start working on Untitled Cafe game. And it is now at a point where it is interactable. I wouldn't call it playable. There's no customers. The shop scene where you buy new ingredients and new recipes isn't working. Not really
There
a
you
whole
go.
ton of anything is working yet, but perfect. Perfect. I love it. I love it. I'm going to keep it forever. Yeah, we might even share the design document in there, so if you have any ideas or suggestions. One thing I want to do, and I want to pitch this to you while we're on stream, Fuzzy, is I would like to do a stream where we're working on Cafe Game, and we are taking donations, subscriptions, bits, whatever, to add ingredients and recipes. If you want to support us and buy an item in the game so that you can be, I'm the reason they
Naming
have
rights.
I'm the reason they have tzatziki, you know?
Yeah.
And I will draw it live for you on stream. We will come up with your recipe live on stream.
Yeah, that's like oh my god, what was his name? Leo Laporte.
Yeah.
Twit.
Yeah.
When they were building out the new big mega studio, they were selling bricks, and they had a big brick entrance wall, and they buy, donor brick, laser engraved your name and stuff for whatever amount of donation, and it was, selling, not quite naming rights, but
Surströmming?
crowdfunding.
How much to add surströmming?
Yeah.
Well, we'd have to come up with a recipe for it, too. Oh, by the way, Beatrix
Fish,
Strauss up there.
can opener.
Since I saw that come up in chat, that's Bean. That's my partner. I'm in support of his artwork and his sticker sales and everything. So they're not actually paid sponsorships. Everything up in whichever corner it's in. I have to this corner. Which way is my stream? This corner.
Shout out.
This is my shout out box of causes that are near and dear to my heart. There's no money changing hands here, but I try to support the people I like.
Yeah.
We may eventually.
If you want to buy it, contact us.
Yeah, don't hesitate. If you want a spot up there, reach out to us.
Contact@Hurgle.com.
If you want to give us money for it, that'd be even better, but all right, my burger's getting cold and my iced coffee's getting hot, so I think we are going to wrap up for the evening. I want to thank you all for being here, hanging around with us. Thank you for giving a warm reception to our good, close, personal friend, Jyggy11, who we are happy to support. I think we are actually going to go give him a raid and go crash in on his show. So thank you all for being here. We'll be doing this again next Wednesday. I appreciate each and every one of you, and enjoy your week.